And what is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Acceleracers Hub for another video. So today, guys, we're doing something totally out of the ordinary. We have not done this on the channel before, but basically, guys, one crucial part of running any sort of small business or flipping business, you got to have capital on hand to go after big deals and stuff that you come across. Nothing is worse in the entire world than seeing a great deal pop up on eBay, but you don't have the cash on hand to go after it. So one of the most important things is to keep capital on hand. You got to kind of control yourself when you see deals popping up on eBay, because even if the deal is decent, there may be a great deal right around the corner. You gotta have enough capital on hand to go after it. So it never ever hurts to just sell some random stuff that you have laying around that is not really helping you in any way, shape, or form. I sold through a bunch of my old toys and stuff from when I was a kid, just for the purpose of building capital. If I don't have any plans for it in the future, I don't see myself passing it on to my kids, you might as well sell it, generate some capital, 50 bucks here, 100 bucks there, and go after some deals. So today, guys, I recently found my whole entire Yu-Gi-Oh card collection from when I was a kid. I had a ton of Yu-Gi-Oh cards, definitely not as many as I did Pokemon, but I sold all my Pokemon cards right before the pandemic, right before Pokemon took off in value. So I probably costed myself several $1,000s by selling my Pokemon cards way too early, because I had probably 5 to 10,000 Pokemon cards. But my parents loved me a lot, guys. They bought me a lot of booster packs as a kid. But anyways, guys, today we're going to be going through all my Yu-Gi-Oh cards that I found. We're going to sort of take a look at some of the rares and sort of walk through the process of how I'm going to be listing them and try to sell through some of them. And we're going to see just how much capital we can squeeze out of these cards. So naturally, when I found these cards, before I even thought to make this a video on the channel, I went ahead and took the 2 rarest cards that I had and sold them on eBay. They actually sold quite some time ago, because I had originally planned to do this, like a year and a half or 2 years ago, when I had found all this stuff in the first place and I was starting up this whole Acceleracers thing. But I had sold the 2 rarest cards, then I got sidetracked, put the cards away somewhere. And I just recently found them again, in the whole moving process. And, I was like, oh, I definitely need to make a video on those. That would be kind of cool. So the 2 cards that I sold were a Blackwing Dragon Synchro Monster card that was a Ghost Rare, and I sold another Ghost Rare that was an Odin Father of the Aesir card. And I want to say I got $100 for the Blackwing Dragon, and I believe $50 for the Odin Father of the Aesir card. So we're already up to $150. We're going to see how much more we can squeeze out of these Yu-Gi-Oh cards. So let's go ahead and take a look at what I've got and see what sort of our strategy is going to be for selling through them. All right, guys, so here is the bulk of my Yu-Gi-Oh card collection. It looks like I tossed away one of my binders when I was younger that had a lot of my heavily worn condition cards in it, because I had a ton of just play condition ones that I used to buy in lots from Amazon that were 5 to 10 bucks for 200 cards. It had some great deals back in the day, but I think I got rid of most of those. So most of these are ones from sets. I think this is from a starter deck. And some of these, oh, look at that. I even labeled the sets. Look at that. My 13-year-old self was on top of it. So I do have a bunch of cards. I think they're almost all from the Yu-Gi-Oh 5Ds era, and slightly before the end of GX through Yu-Gi-Oh 5Ds, because that anime was the best ever. So I do have a whole bunch of the cards. I'll have to go through and count them up. Well, actually, looks like we don't have any cards from Ancient Prophecy. I wonder why the heck I left these sleeves in here if there weren't any cards. But we do have a whole bunch from some of these. I think some of the later ones, like the ones that had a lot of Black Wings, I bought a ton of packs because I always wanted to have a Black Wing deck. But I think what I'm gonna do, I gotta look up and see which cards are rares, and because I know they have what, secret rares, ultra rares, stuff like that. It's all based on what the color of the lettering on top of the card. So I'll probably go through and sort those up. I'm probably just gonna sell them all in one big lot, just to try and make it simple, because I don't think I have any that are crazy valuable enough to sell individually. So that's probably what I'll do, and I'll just get a big total, say, oh, this is a lot of 1,000 cards or 1,200 cards, 70 ultra rares, 10 hyper rares, so on and so forth. That's probably the best. Wow, what happened there? It looks like I took a bite out of it. That's probably the best strategy for moving through a bulk lot of cards, because with Yu-Gi-Oh, it's kind of hard to tell what's rare and what's not, because I think some cards that are more playable, and as far as tournaments go, I think those cards have a little bit more value. But I kept most of my rares individually. I don't know what this is. I think those are just decks that I had made when I was younger. And here, this is probably more decks, I would assume. It looks like this is where some of my rares are. We got Majestic Star Dragon, Stardust Dragon, Voltic Bicorn, Shooting Star Dragon, Red Nova Dragon. So these probably have a little bit of value, probably 10 to 15 bucks, just because they were 10 exclusive cards. And then it looks like we got some cards from the big Yu-Gi-Oh GX collection thing. I remember buying that as a kid. So we do have some nice gems in here, but probably nothing that's worth more than 15 bucks total. So if you don't have anything that's crazy expensive, the best bet is to sell it as one big lot and just hope to cash out After all, the whole goal is to get you the most bang for your buck out of this stuff. So cards that are only worth, 25, 30 cents a piece really aren't worth selling individually. You obviously lose money on fees and shipping. But if you don't have any super crazy valuable cards like those 2 rares that I already sold, the best bet is to sell it in one big lot and try to get a tagline on it. Like, I have 70 ultra rares or 70 hyper rares, something that makes people go, okay, he has good condition. The biggest thing I should say, let me step back there, is you got to know your card's condition, how many cards you have, and the breakdown of your rares, because that is what people are really interested in. The bulk cards, typically people really don't care that much. So what I'm going to do is take all these cards out of the binders, get a count on how much we have, and then we will see where we go from there. All right, guys, so I went through and sorted all of them based on their sets. Well, some of them. There's a bunch that I had. These 2 piles right here are a bunch that I got, from 10 exclusive cards. Ones that I had, only 5 or 6 of, not enough to keep in a set. So I just put them in 2 big piles. But all of these are ones that I had, 10 to 15 of that are from, notable sets. Obviously, some I had more than others. You can tell at which point I started getting a decent allowance for my chores around the house, because those are the sets that I have a lot of. But anyways, I went ahead and sorted them. I'm going to go through all of them, count them up, sort of see which sets I have the most rares for, so on and so forth, and get a better breakdown for my description for the listing. That way people know that, I know what I'm talking about and that I'm not just tossing up a random lot of junk cards. Typically, the more details you can give them, the better. Okay, so I just went through and counted up all of these cards. Haven't done any of the rares or, hyper rare cards or anything like that yet, but there's a grand total of exactly 1,100 cards. So 1,100 cards total. That is kind of funny that we hit it right on the dot. I definitely did throw away a bunch back in the day that were pretty beat up, but you live and learn, right? You should always hang on to cards and stuff, because you never know. Even if I had, 300 cards that were in pretty beat up condition, it would still make a 1,400 card lot, which would make it sound a little bit better. So now that I've done that, I'm going to go ahead and go through and see what we can find out about the rares and see which cards are the rare ones. And I already took pictures of this from, several angles, like here, one, down angle from the sides, so on and so forth. These are going to be my cover pictures for the listings. Then I'm going to try to separate out all the rare cards. And when I'm counting them up, and I'm going to take one picture of all the rares together just to give like a big grab photo, to really catch people's attention. All right, so I have to do this every time I mess around with Yu-Gi-Oh cards, but I did a little bit of research into, what makes a rare, a super rare, an ultra rare, so on and so forth. So just for anybody who's curious, a rare has silver card names, like this Cosmic Horror Gangiel, I don't know how you say it. So this one has silver lettering, so this is a rare. But then a super rare has hollow art but no foil name. So this card has sort of a hollow foil effect to it, but it has no name that's in silver or gold or anything. So that makes this one a super rare. So an ultra rare has a gold foil name and hollow art. Let's see here. So like this Junk Destroyer has a gold name and it has the hollow art. So that would be an example of an ultra rare. And then a secret rare, rainbow foil name and hollow art. So this Malefic Paradox Dragon has, the rainbow thing, and it has the hollow art. So that is an example of a secret rare. So those are kind of the 4 rarities. I'm going to go through all of these and see just how many rares, super rares and stuff we have. Okay, so we finally finished. It took me forever to go through and pull all of those cards out there and sort them. So we have a grand total of 70 regular rares, 42 super rares, 37 ultra rares, and 15 secret rares. And most of the secret rares that I have are ones that came, out of tins and stuff. So, like where the tins come with one promo card. So I don't think just because they're secret rare doesn't mean they're crazy expensive. I think it's more rare if you pull a secret rare out of a pack versus, getting it out of a tin. But anyways, what I'm going to do is fan these cards out and take one photo with all of them sort of spread out. So that way people can get like a little look-see at which rare cards I have. So this is the photo that I took of the rares. You don't want to spread it too far out so they can see every single individual card. You want to leave a little bit up to mystery. You want to let them see a little bit here and there, sort of make them want to take a chance on your lot, because a lot of times those people know exactly what they're looking for. And, you want to keep it a little bit mysterious. Our photo, that we took right here of our ultra rares. I didn't do it for the super rares, but just a note here, these 3 specifically, Blizzard Princess, Dark Lord Desire, and Wing Kribo level 9. I know for a fact that I got those out of the little graphic novels that you could get for the Yu-Gi-Oh GX series. So those I think have a little bit more value than the standard cards. I think this Wing Kribo level 9 is like a $10 to $15 card. So I wanted to make sure that I had those out front and center. Just somebody who knows what they're looking for will look at this and immediately know that that's what that card is from. So it's important to keep your best cards up front and center. And then for our secret rare cards, I did spread all of these out. I want them to be able to see exactly which secret rares we have, because secret rares are definitely going to be the cash cow. The people that are buying these bulk lots and looking to break them open and flip them, these will be the cards that they're the most interested in. If they can buy one or this lot and sell 1 or 2 of these and pay for the whole lot, which I doubt it'll happen. I think these are the rarest ones that I've gotten. I think they're worth about 10 to 15 bucks, just like that Wing Kribo card. But this is where the bulk of the money is going to be. So you always want to get your rarest cards front and center. And then this was the last angle of a photo that I took for the last photo that I'm going to use for the listing, just to let them see all the cards all lined up. A lot of times when you stack them up and you know, squeeze them together nice and neat, these don't look that great, but it really makes the cards look good, and you can sort of tell that there's not a lot of damage to any of the cards. Like, see how fluid that looks for the most part. You know, if there's a lot of jagged cards here and there, then that kind of makes it look a little bit trashy. But so actually, before I take it, I'm going to straighten up all these card stacks just to make them look as good as possible, and then we are going to see what we're going to list them for. And naturally, guys, as soon as I started packing up cards, I remember that I had some that I'd set to the side that I was going to try to sell individually a while ago. So there's probably like another 60 to 80 cards right here, maybe more than that, including some more rares, secret rares. So now my numbers are going to be off a little bit, but that's just the way it goes. It'll be like a bonus for whoever buys it. All right, guys, so our listing is live. Went ahead and got everything listed. So I listed it for $220 plus $10 shipping. Just after looking at a bunch of other lots, there's just a ton of Yu-Gi-Oh card lots out there, just bulk cards. But one of the most important things for me when I was listing this was, I'm sure all of you guys know that you can get those like bulk lots of Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh cards that are, you know, 100 cards, you know, 5 rares guaranteed, you know, 1,000 cards, 30 rares guaranteed, so on and so forth. The big bulk lots, you know, but those are designed so that you never win. The guys that, you know, have 1,000 of those lots because they just have, you know, hundreds of thousands of cards. They sell the rares individually and they sell everything else in those big bulk lots, just offload it. And you want to distinguish your lot from lots like that so that people don't lump them in with all those, you know, big grab lots. So you want people to know this is a collection of someone who, you know, actually had it and took care of it. So there's a chance there could be gems in there, you know, because when I see those big bulk lots, you know that you're never gonna get anything really good in there because those guys would never let that happen. So I listed it as Yu-Gi-Oh Card Collection, over 1,100 cards, put their condition in there, lightly played on average, mostly 5Ds era, which was from the era that most of the cards were from. So these are probably closer to near mint on average, honestly, but you never want to risk anybody getting cards and being unsatisfied with the condition. So I always try to knock it down a notch. And most of you guys that have bought from me know that. Even cards that I list as lightly played, heavily played, a lot of times can be closer to, you know, lightly played to near mint. So then the description, you know, I always try to put read description in there for these big lots so people can see, you know, the breakdown of rares and stuff like that. Because from what I understand, this is a lot of rares and rares and ultra rares, you know, for a standard lot. So you break it down, 1,100 total cards, solid portion from GX Legendary Collection, starter deck, so on and so forth. So total 1,150 cards, you know, 21 secret rares, 48 ultra rares, 56 super rares, 82 regular rares. Always sort of try to explain where the cards came from. Feel free to message me with questions or concerns. So the goal when you list something with a best offer, I try to avoid listing stuff like this on auction just because typically someone will get it for really cheap on auction. You know, if I list it for $100 starting, someone will buy it for $100 and then break it up and flip it. And if you keep it at buy it now best offer, you control the final price, which is always the goal for me. So I don't expect to get $220 for it. Normally when I list something as a buy it now with the best offer, I'm typically trying to get, you know, 10 to 15% less than that. So for this, if I could get like 170 to 180 bucks for it, that would be a massive win for me. If I could get 150 for it, that would probably be like the lowest I'd take for it, 140, 150, just something there to generate some capital. But it'll be sort of a dream if somebody bought it for 220. But that's just my deal with the buy it now best offers. I always list stuff a little bit high. The goal is to negotiate down a little bit in price and find a price that works with the buyer. And really, they think they're getting, you know, a better deal because they can negotiate me down 40 or 50 bucks. But if I'm really only trying to get, you know, 170, 180 for it, then it really works out. Both parties win. So anyways, got it all listed there, and I went ahead and packaged everything up just because I don't want to deal with the hassle of packaging it up once it sells, because it was a lot of cards. So this is how I typically do everything. The ultra rares, secret rares and stuff, I divide it up, you know, separate it, let them know this is pack 3 of 3, 1 of 3, 2 of 3, how many cards are in there. Then you got, you know, your super rares, secret rares, so on and so forth. These are all the bulk common cards. And I'll probably box them up and go ahead and package up the box and everything. That way I just have to slap a label on it when it eventually sells. But I will keep you guys updated on how it goes. I don't expect it to sell super fast just because there's a ton of Yu-Gi-Oh cards out there. And someone would really probably have to scroll through a lot of listings to find it. But as far as pictures go on it, I did this big picture as the big, you know, attention grabbing one with all the cards there, a couple of rares on top. And then my next picture was all of the secret rare cards, you know, the rarest that I've got. That way, that's the next thing people see. And then, you know, the ultra rares, you know, so on and so forth. And then just the big bulk overhead pictures at the end for people that want to get a better idea of condition. But the goal is to keep your best cards front and center. That's what people are really looking for in these lots. So we will just have to see how well it sells. But that is going to wrap it up for this video, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed seeing, you know, the behind the scenes on how I go about listing stuff on eBay, you know, breaking down miscellaneous lots of trading cards, stuff like that. We'll probably call this, you know, the capital generation series or something like that, or just eBay flipping. I don't know. We'll see. Well, I guess it's not really flipping if it's something I owned since I was a kid. I don't know. We'll just have to see. Anyways, if you guys enjoyed this video and want to see more content like this, just smash that like button for me. Let me know down in the comments. If you guys enjoyed this, I'll probably do another part or two because I do have some more trading cards and old toys and stuff that I might need to sell through here in the next, month or so. But if you guys aren't a real big fan of it, it's kind of boring and long, then I'll probably won't bring this back, but I'll just do a community post, saying, how much I ended up getting for the Yu-Gi-Oh cards, so on and so forth, just for those of you guys who are invested in it already. But like I said, if you guys enjoyed, be sure to smash the like button for me. And as always, subscribe to the Acceleracers Hub for more Acceleracers and eBay, related content. And I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out, guys.